Aloha and welcome to Spirit Chat Radio. It's been a little minute since I've been on here, and I think I'm saying that way too much lately because everybody's been wondering where my energy reports have been and, kind of what's happening. But I'm still working really hard on that Empath University, and so that's where I am just really trying to make a full commitment to getting that out soon, because I have a lot of people waiting on that as well. And there was a minute that I took a little mini vacation to the mainland, which I haven't done in 2 years, which was awesome. So much fun. But anyways, let's get into the energy report. And then I have a special discount thing that I'm doing that you'll definitely want to hear about at the end of the podcast. I don't want to get into that now because some people don't care about that, but it's on one of my classes, so you'll want to stay tuned for that. And hopefully, it's really weird. It's like every time I do these classes, anybody who works for me or my kids or whatnot, they know that my electronics all just start breaking and not working. Well, one of the reasons I had kind of not gotten as many podcasts out as I normally would not very long ago was because everything I recorded didn't record. It like my software wasn't working to record things. I would go on to my phone software, that wasn't working. I would try. The last podcast I did, I tried 2 different softwares on my laptop. I tried 2 different softwares on my desktop and my phone, and I'm not even kidding you. I had problems with every single one of them, and I recorded things twice. I just gave up. I was just like, you know what? Apparently, spirit interference is just wearing me down at this point, so I tap and I will be back. So then I went on a mini vacation, and weirdly enough, when I thought I was going to have to go take my electronics in to get fixed because it seemed to be affecting my whole computer, all of a sudden it started working again. Go figure. Anyways, so everything seems to be working for now. So we're just going to kick out this podcast before something decides that, it doesn't want it to happen. This month of October, I've been talking about this for a little while. The October energy coming and all the manifestation energy coming in October and November. And that is true. But this has been a very roller coastery month for a lot of people. And so we're going to talk about why that is. The energy of October is really going to have some ups and downs to it. And it's going to be like sort of chaotic energy, but it doesn't mean that the manifestation things that you've put out there and some stuff that you've been working on, it doesn't mean that it's not manifesting and it's going to, really develop into something that you've been working on for a long time. In fact, most likely you're already seeing the fruits of your labor for things that you've been manifesting from months ago. Most likely you're in it. But the thing with October that's throwing everybody off, the thing with this new energy wave that's coming through, it's very hitchy. And so normally when you have a strong manifestation energetic wave coming through, the stars are aligning, everything's looking really good. Normally what happens is everything feels like it's more fluidly flowing. And it feels like you can really engulf the manifestation energy, and you can really get into the vibe of, wow, this feels really good, and everything's just happening, like it's dominoing into this wonderful picture that I've been working on so hard. Well, with the way this hitchy energy is working, it's feeling very not like that. It's feeling the opposite of being in the flow. So it's confusing because you're seeing fruits of your labor, you're seeing things develop, but then it feels very hiccupy along the way. So I want to start with the emotional aspect of what's happening with this wave. There is a lot of emotional heightened activity going on right now, and it actually started a few weeks ago, where you might have noticed that you were feeling super over emotional, or almost like I'm just losing it. I can't handle this right now. Or that you're very stressed out in a relationship. You feel like you're kind of maybe at a breaking point where you're just emotionally just kind of emotionally vomit all over the place. You're just like a hot mess. So that was how this October energy, this wave sort of started, is it really gave you an emotional punch in a way that made you feel like you were sort of at your breaking point. Again, all the while seeing some manifestation changes happening and being able to actually more see those materialize, but still going, but it's not materializing in the way that I wanted it to, and it hits you just really with on an emotional level. So the first parts of this wave is makes people feel like that they're kind of emotionally unstable. They're not feeling strong emotionally with dealing with and flowing with energy. It feels pretty overwhelming. And that emotional energy, the strength that you normally have with emotional energy, is going to come back. It's just while we're in this chaotic, hiccupy stuff, it doesn't feel like it for the moment. Now, that being said, I really want you to pay attention to that, because you actually do have the strength and all of that to work through all these energies that you're working with. It just, when you get that emotional hit, it makes you feel temporarily like, oh my gosh, I'm sort of at a breaking point, okay? So when you get that way, that's time to take a step back for a half a minute, because I want you to really notice that it's not dictating your future. It's just a vibe you're getting at the moment. And it's okay sometimes to have those times where you're feeling you're so stressed that you're just a hot mess, because that's usually when you release and let go of all the energy that you've carried with you from the past. You kind of just let it go. And so that's why it's tying in to October in this energy wave, is because there are changes happening right now. We're on the cusp of really having, you're on the cusp of having some major shifts. And that's what's happening at this moment. And when we get on that teeter-totter cusp, we're still, any energy that you're trying to take with you to the other side of the teeter-totter is gonna come, it's gonna come up, and you're gonna be like, you're gonna have to and almost want to release that weight before you move to the other side of the teeter-totter. So it will surface, and think of it like this. I know this is really weird, but I was just at Universal. So think of it as, nope, you can't take that on this ride that you're going on. So you have to leave your purse in a locker. So don't bring that baggage with you. Just leave it there. And if you want it, when you get back, then you can get it. Otherwise, you can just leave it in the locker forever. So kind of think of it that way. You're bringing some baggage. You're getting on this new ride of this new place that you're going. You're on the cusp of all this cool experience and this manifestation stuff happening. And it's like, no, okay, you got to check your baggage at the door, emotional breakdown, kind of just lose it, have your meltdown, whatever. And then you'll come back. You'll let it go. You release it. You'll keep moving forward, and then you'll come back and revisit. Do I really need this? Most likely you won't. Unlike Universal, where you actually go back and get your bag, most likely you're going to realize that had to happen for you to move forward onto the ride for that moment. And it's just uncomfortable. When you get in a cusp of moving that, from one side to the other, and it is like a teeter-totter. It's like you're walking from one side and you can feel the weight shift, and now you're going down to the other side. It's an uncomfortable, scary, unbalanced feeling, and that's when you get that chaotic type energy, and that's when your emotions can play a big role, because you now have to deal with shedding that, because your emotions is energy, and when you have a big shift, those are things that you have to move, compartmentalize, or create. And so we are, having to release some of those, or those of you who are manifesting are having to release some of those. This tends to be a money month as well. This energy is really bringing with it a lot that has to do with finances, which is also can feel very sketchy to you, because there is a shift in money energy coming for a lot of those of you who are working with your finances. Money energy is really starting to shift, and it's moving. It's moving into different aspects and different places. So there's a lot of movement going on with this money energy. And that doesn't mean that the flow is going to stop. It means how the flow that you're used to is now kind of weaving and turning in it, and it's creating a new riverbed. And so again, that can tend to have people feeling very like nervous and scary. It's scary to some people because you're having to, in many instances with this energy that's come through, you're having to restructure your money. But that doesn't mean that it's coming to like the end of your money. It just literally means that. It means restructuring right now. And for many of you, again, who are working on things that are manifesting different financial aspects of your life, that really will start becoming a thing in November. Like the abundance, the flow, the direction of the money riverbed, so to speak, will have been more solidified at that point. So again, I love my analogies, but so if you're redirecting a river, that river can't run that way anymore for whatever reason. And people do actually do this. And now we've moved the river flow. That's what we're essentially doing right now with this energy, is the energy is redirecting your money flow. And so it's going to move over into another area. And by November, that flow will then have made its groove in a way that feels more comfortable, feels more stable, it feels not so stressful, I guess I would say. So there's a lot going on. We got the emotional aspect of things happening. Now we have the money energy. And another thing that's happening is there's really strong relationship energy right now. That is something that people are really going to have to be dealing with. So there might be some outbursts with relationships where you normally are not having outbursts. Or you might feel a little bit, more heated or more rocky, or like anything that you've bottled up with relationships might just kind of explode or pop open at this point in time. These feel like mini explosive type situations, but it's not that they're going to affect you long term. So like the money energy is something that's going to affect you long term, and the manifestation energy is different. But the relationship stuff, that's not something that's necessarily going to affect you long term right now. It just means that it can feel very explosive at times, and some, you might be having some longer discussions or switch in relationship status, or which I guess could be long term, but a lot of those switches don't seem long term. They would be more temporary. So you might be like, I don't know, you might be away from each other. You might come closer to each other again. But different types of shifts that are more temporary shifts right now. And communication isn't necessarily super smooth right now with relationships. It seems like you might be snappy, or like just, again, that's when that emotional part might come in. So you might be not talking rationally, I guess I would say. So that's with this very hiccupy, chaotic type energy. And so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that, because I don't feel like that is something we necessarily have to focus on, because it's a kind of a temporary thing. But the other thing that always happens, especially with empaths, with this type of, when you get in the middle of a cusp like this, plus we have full moon coming up, is sleep patterns are being affected, and anxieties, of course. Anytime you have hiccupy energy, and especially if you're an empath, your environment doesn't feel calm. And when the vibration of the energy goes up and then down and then higher, then lower, when it heightens, many times that's at night, and you can wake up with anxious energy. You can wake up feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling anxious about something, and then your brain wants to go to why you're feeling anxious about this, like, why would you wake up feeling anxious? You just didn't wake up that way for no reason, so there must be a reason. And then you start going through, potential, like your money stuff, or stressful situations that you're having that hiccupy energy with, or even a relationship, and then you start like going, oh, that must be it. And then you start kind of obsessing and focusing on it. And then you panic more. And then it just turns into a snowball. So my suggestion to you, especially if you're an empath right now, is if you're having anxiety or waking up with anxiety, tune into the energy around you and realize that most likely this is the energy around you will feel sort of chaotic and hiccupy. It's not because there's something in your life that you immediately need to address, especially with this wave. With this wave, it's kind of more like, I usually will tell you, all right, now we got to work on manifestation. Now we got to work on this. I want you to work on this. Here's a good month to work on these things. Well, this month is kind of a good month to ride things out and just kind of allow the ups and downs. It's okay to have your emotional meltdown. It's okay to be feeling stressed, but what my suggestion is, don't obsess about it, because these are not dictations of what's happening. It's just really feeling rocky. The energy is just feeling very bumpy. So again, you know how you go on the roller coaster and then you go up and then your tummy, it's like gets all nervous, and then you drop down and then you feel like, oh geez, now we're doing this again, and it goes up. It's exactly like that. You are going to be feeling this roller coaster of a ride energetically. But when we do this without a visual, being on a roller coaster, for instance, then our brain's going, okay, why is this happening? We're not on a roller coaster, so there's definitely something going on. And then that's when you can go, oh, it's this job, it's this relationship, it's this problem I'm having, and I definitely need to figure this out so that I can make this feeling stop happening. My suggestion is redirect your energy. Everything is basically, probably most likely, working out okay and in your favor, because we have that heightened manifestation energy still underlying this entire current. It's still there. It's still very strong. We're just riding on the bumpy stuff up above. So most likely everything is actually going the direction that you desire. It doesn't feel like you're in the flow of things. So you're on the bumpy wave up top and there's a strong manifestation current below. You're going in the same direction. The feeling about it is different than probably you're not used to. You're used to it being different. And so again, it's going to affect sleep patterns, the anxiety and sleep patterns. The first part of this month, the energy was very draining and very emotional, very taxing, and it took a lot of effort just to ride the wave. You're holding on, you're tense, you're tight, it takes a lot of energy just to maintain at that point. So a lot drains from you. And now, as we near the end of the month and head into November, this wave's going to calm down quite a bit, in the sense that it's not going to feel so chaotic and so hiccupy. And so then we're going to feel a lot more a smooth transition. We're going to be able to feel like we're on the downside of like, okay, I'm starting to feel like I'm getting closer into the flow of things. Okay, things are starting to feel like all the manifestation things I worried about a few weeks ago, I'm starting to see the wrinkles work out, and therefore it calms your body in a way. And, that's all your perspective. It calms yourself and your soul in a way that you can align with that energy better and write it out. But as always, when we have that high manifestation current, it will make people feel, I guess, what do I want to say? I'm reaching for it. Not as tired. So, like insomnia. That's what I was looking for. So it can make you feel like you're not tired, or, you're going to bed late, you're getting up early. It can make you feel like you're just not sleeping as well in the middle of the night, as opposed to being very drained. Now you're aligning with a higher power energy, so you charge quicker during the night. You can feel that heightened energy during the night. You're a lot more sensitive to that. That's really going to hit ahead with full moon, and you're in, I believe, on the 13th, and then we're going to just kind of roll with that. But you're going to feel very like you might have insomnia. You're going to have trouble sleeping with that. So you will see, like I said, and most likely you do already, the bits and pieces of things coming together. And again, I just want to make sure that you're realizing it's not that it's not coming together. You're just seeing glimpses of it, and you're kind of in that rocky part of it. And then it's going to flow into, it's kind of like you're in the rapids. I have so many analogies on this one. If you're river rafting and you're in the rapid part, your current is still going the same way, the manifestation energy. The ride is super bumpy. You're holding on. You got your life jacket on and your helmet and everything. You're trying to direct things, and it's kind of scary, so you're really emotional about it. But you're going in the right destination, because that's sort of what you signed up for, and that's what you paid for, and that's where you're headed. And then you're starting to see calming waters ahead, and then we're going to have a little bit of a break in there where everything seems sort of calmed down, and you're like, oh wow, like then you can take time to look around at the beauty and what you've been working on, what you've created, and you're going to have some time to soak that all in and align with that energy. It's just coming more towards the end of the month and into November, and you're going to be able to align with that better. So hold on with that energy. Just hold on to your helmet and your life jacket, and just enjoy the thought of knowing you're going to make it through. Your boat's not going to capsize, okay? You're not capsizing. You're going to make it through with most all the people you have and all the stuff that you have. Not too many things are going to fall out of the boat. And the way the river is taking you, it might be a little bit of a different path, but ultimately you're going to end up in the same destination of what you were reaching for. So that's super cool. So for those of you empaths out there, and those of you who are still manifesting, or you're into that sort of thing, still work, still put effort and focus forward into that, because October, November, there's still going to be high manifestation months. And if I was you, and this is exactly what I am doing, which is why I said if I was you, you want to be working on manifestation things for still in the further future, past October, past November, and that's a good distraction of what I do. If I feel like I'm getting into where I'm really just concentrating on holding onto the boat, not capsizing, then I focus forward in a way that I feel like, okay, well, this is currently happening and there's not a whole lot I can do about it. So I'm just going to work on stuff that's further out. It redirects your focus. It shifts your perspective. It makes you feel a little hopeful and excited about what you're creating and moving forward and what you're kind of working towards. And it's a distraction, and it keeps you from feeling all the nervous, emotional energy that can come along with just these bumpy type rides, So that's going to be really important. Now, to get into some of the other stuff that I was saving towards the end of the podcast is, if you want to get in on my Spirit Chat texts, I will put the number below, but I haven't had any that have gone out in the last, I think, week and a half or something, but I still do them regularly. People still love them. You'll definitely want to text the number below and text Spirit Chat one word. For those of you waiting on the empath course, I am so close to getting that done. And every time I work on it, and I know this sounds like I'm gloating a little bit, I guess, when I say that, but I literally am so proud of this course because it is the best course I believe I've ever put together. And it has so much information in it. And every time somebody asks me a question about being an empath, because I get a lot of questions and comments about that, especially off my YouTube stuff, I've already covered it in the class, and that makes me feel very happy because I feel like I've not let anything slip through. And so I am so stoked to get that to you guys. So you definitely want to make sure that you watch my email and all that stuff for my empath class. But the one thing that I was saving till the end is, because I'm working on redesigning my psychic ability class after my empath class, I am running a special on that, and it's like $200 off. I've never, ever, ever run that kind of special on this class, which makes it an insanely good price of either like $299, or if you do the payment plan, like $35 a month, which is so cheap. I'm telling you, that's like Starbucks coffee. It's 1-2 meals out. I have made this very affordable for those of you who have said you couldn't afford it. Why I'm doing that is because we are giving it a facelift. It is going to be an empath university class. We're going to redesign the way it looks and add a few things to it. But what is really good for you to know if you're interested in taking the psychic ability classes, one, this and the empath class, my classes are designed to work together. So you can benefit from taking both of them for sure. And in fact, I think everybody should take both of them because they work so well together, number one. Number two is, if you get into the class right now, you will still have access to the redesigned class that I am doing with Empath U. So all the current students, if you're a current student or you'd buy it like with this really good deal, you will still get the new stuff as well. So it's a huge opportunity for you. It's one that I'm not going to keep up for a long time, but I'm going to keep up. I will put the link below. It'll be up for another week or so. So like it's going to be for a limited time. You won't notice it on the page itself. Just keep that in mind. So don't go to the page and go, oh, I missed it. You have to actually go to the checkout to see the adjusted price. So the regular price will be on the page. Once you go to checkout, that's where the sale price is. So even if you're just wondering, is this still available? Did I get in too late? Just go in there, go to the checkout page, and you'll see right then. You'll see if it's $200 off and or $35 versus $49 a month. And so this is for those of you, again, for who has wanted into the class. I try to do specials, like when I do my reading special, I just entirely booked up. When I do that every once in a while, I've never done it like this with this class, never, not even on Black Friday, ever. So it's a huge opportunity for you to get in and get on the ground floor and then also have access to the new material. So hopefully you will check that out. I will put all the links below to my Empowered Empath website if you want to get on my email list. You will get the Spirit Chat text information if you want to get on my energy reports. And you will get the information to the $200 off. I will put it only in this podcast link because I don't want to put it on all my stuff because, like I said, it's a limited time. So I hope that you're riding out the waves. Get your, keep your life jacket on for a little bit longer. It's going to be okay. You're going to be able to see good stuff on the horizon coming up. Manifestation energy is still high. So just keep rolling with it. It's going to be awesome. And let go of some of the emotional stuff and work through that. And my suggestion before I go is also to address it. If you're having some kind of emotional stuff, especially if it's with somebody, voice your emotional concerns or worries out into the universe, so that's how you release them. You voice them out, then it gets released. So it's kind of important to do that. And if you don't want to do it to some particular person that you feel like it's going to upset, voice it to a friend or just do it in the shower, whatever. Okay, hopefully you enjoyed this and found this helpful. Comment below if you did, because I do read all your comments. I try to definitely comment back within the first 24 hours. And have the most amazing day. Aloha.